once per game. I can do that once per game to bring any relic from outside the game that is 15 points or less. I want to be undisturbed so I can make that power action at the beginning of the game, then clear, then pick up the relic with the +2 that Mordru gets when picking up relics. Ooh, the mystical relics! This is a 200-point exhibition game between the premier wizard of the DC Universe, Mordru, one of the most, if not the most, powerful wizards in the DC Universe, from a place called Gemworld, where there are feminine-like anthropomorphic beings, each named for mineral compounds beyond that subtext of volatile reality entertainment information of the mortal world, such as amethyst and opal and pearl and garnet. And the place is called Gemworld, if this did not mention that already. Who gets sued? Steven or DC Universe? Or the DC? Interesting. And in the other Unkan Kona Unayal Nalko, whatever. It's not that. It is the 200-point Wonder Woman with mystics from the set with Apollo and all the other Greek gods in it. But a die-cast or a stainless steel 3D rendered model of Lindsay Singh playing Wonder Woman from the epic rap battles of history. No, I'm joking. That's not what this is. It'd be funny if she's watching this. She's like, what? My name is Beepy. Anyhow, we're going to assign them their character-coded tokens. I give Wonder Woman the yellow, and we're going to give Mordru Majonian. That's right. Rolling for initiative. That is for Mordru. I'm going to give you 8. And Wonder Woman is going to get 8 Coritona. 4 + 1 = 5. Mordru will be going first. My ghost pouch! Nobody touch my ghost pouch! And so thus, Team Wizard. There's 2 Ds, 2 Zs, and 3 Ws. Get it right. I want to sell you cable service providers at incredibly low prices over an extremely limited period of time. We're going to choose where can we not be disturbed. The labyrinth is, thinking the labyrinth maybe, but of course the opponent knowing that this person wants seclusion, that maybe that's too obvious a choice. Wonder Woman can fly. Hiding up here might not save us this time. Let's hide in one of these. In the broom closet. That's hiding up here. In this zone, which puts Mordru in that zone. Replace that zone peg with a Majonian one. Majonian Dark Chaotic Magic Blitz. It's Majon occupying so much of the continua. It should be considered the color black, assuming that's even a color. Now, we don't need to replace the zone peg, because we're putting a character peg. The zone peg would then suggest that there is a character in the zone who isn't a character, and that is not the case. There is only that character, that team in that zone, and that character is in the master square. Thus, do this. Right. And that is all for Team Wizard. 2 Ds, 2 Zs, and 3 Ws. Yes, and that includes the 2 Ds, 2 Ds, 2 Ds, 2 Zs, and 3 Ws part. Starting with Majon over here. Let's check his zones. Check he's in that square. Let's check just in case. He would have first order immunity. No one else in there, as is suspected. Well, it is conceivable that Wonder Woman might have chosen to be in that zone also, or in that, well, not in that square, but maybe above. Well, Mordru is a giant. How high would Mordru be? Difficult to say. Very tall. How many squares? Let's give him a height of 5. He's 5 squares tall, so you'd have to be, you're in the square and you fly, you have to be 6 or higher off the ground. Fine. Mordru is going to take his double power action once per game to bring in a very special relic. The Lasso of Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's right, mortals. Bow to me. And those are your tokens. Took a double power action. There's nothing to outwit, though it can outwit at some point. There'll be things to outwit in days yet to come, moments yet to come, not necessarily separated from a day from now. I suppose that this is technically within the boundaries of a day, so if this is amidst the range of a theoretical range of days, then yes, in days to come, this day likely. Digressing. Next turn, please. Mordru's turn. Team Wizard. That's 2 Ds, 2 Zs, and 3 Ws. Get it right. We're in this zone. Let's see that. In there. Only Mordru. Check anything. Let's check what Mordru can see. It's the diagonal. I also see these. Not quite as many. We'll see this. If someone here could see it. Oh, so maybe he shouldn't have been able to see these before. He can see only this the linear area occupation precedent of the particular parts of the perimeter of the quadrilateral Greek fireflame polymer canopy lid casings that continue with the squares that are applied to squares that are also closer to further away from the character representing square or peg, except for when there is a blocking terrain, then it doesn't continue. Would not apply if it's not one that is closer to a square or the particular parts of the perimeter of the geometrical quadrilateral translucent Greek fireflame polymer canopy lid frame, one of which is closest to of a similar distance of its parts of the perimeter of this area, linear area occupancy precedent from the square of the character. This would not continue on like that. But we can see these. Once again, these are of the zone. We check the zone. So now we're just going to check these. That's all. Let's check it. Is anybody there? Anybody? No. That's all. You can also see up here, he's a giant. You can see as if you were on the same elevation as whoever. No one's in there. You can also see diagonally. See this? And the diagonal here. This is a direct diagonal path into several zones. Oh, you can even see down here into this, the corner. The corner. Memories at the corners of my room. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. I think that's it. See anything else? So once again, is this the direct? This is the direct. We started to close them. It blocks the lateral area linear occupancy precedent of the specific parts of the geometrical quadrilateral, not of the diagonal, the corner, but the sides here that are closest or closer to the character representing the character square or peg in this case. One of which is blocking terrain. It does not continue. So these three are blocked. But for the square of the occupancy, a phenomenal occupancy, area occupancy, linear precedent of progression that is further from this edge of the board than that square. It will continue one more. So where this stops here, it doesn't include these three, this would stop here for a character, presumably further from this edge of the board and these squares than all the other squares that are being seen by the character. So let's stop here. Let's give him that. Look over there, over here, and one more. Let's check it. Oh, what is it? Oh, it doesn't include these. That's why it's not using this zone. Wonderful. No, this is a zone. I'm not checking that zone. That's why they call me bad company until the day that I die. Oh, yeah. So, and Mordru clears. All that, and he's going to clear. Mordru's turn. Going to check the zones he can see. Check the zones he can see. Are you ready? Only Mordru in there. Yeah. And on a diagonal. It stops here. Now, and then we can see these. These are already, we checked these with that zone. You can see these. Precedent. Greek file frame. That's when the squares that you can see are closer to this edge of the board than the blocking terrain, but when the squares you can see are closer to this edge than the blocking terrain, it stops your diagonal line of sight. How should you be able to see? Right? No one's in there. Now this diagonal stops when the parts of the perimeter are closer to of the quadrilateral geometrical structure for that translucent Greek fire flame polymer container. closest to the other particular parts of the perimeter for the quadrilateral geometrical structure of the translucent Greek fireblade polymer container frame of blocking terrain. It stops. And you perceive all of the squares that... So this one would stop them from seeing all of this, and that would stop them from seeing that. This is a part of the zone we checked already. Stopped here. Let's see this. This is while blocking terrain, stopping the sight train. Continues up unless these are this one because of the blocking terrain. All of the squares that are further away from it. Do we check up there? So you can see up there. He has 10 movement, phasing teleport. Let's have him check around. Let's have him go take a stroll here. Now he can, here. So that's 2. You can see this zone now. No. So have him go another 4 to a total of 6. Here. Now you can see this zone. Going in there. Now will we ever... Well, Wonder Woman and the Woo-Woo Wizard with 2 Ds, 2 Zs, and 3 Ws, get it right. Yes, that includes the including 2 Ds, 2 Zs, and 3 Ws part, not the including that is added in a frame of reference that is incipient to which is incipient in the frame of reference that this refers to. Yes, including or speaks of ours. That yes, this includes part. Next total, we have 4 more movement. We can also check this zone. No. Maybe over there. Let's have you go up here, and maybe that won't protect you. 4, and over there. Now you can see this zone. Nobody in there, so you are not in the courtyard. In that båge. Now we take this out, change the zones around. Now you're in this zone. I will purify myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Oh, great. I'm also in this zone now. Let's check it. No one there. We can also see these squares. This zone is these 3 squares of that column transposed to here. And this zone are these 3 squares of this column transposed to down here. We're missing these. Let's check those. Let's check these. And now that your roses in bloom, mordru can destroy your universe. You know your glow was insufferable from the hills. And did you know that when you grow, your dark magic is daunting, but you can't deny the crown presentness of my authority. Do-do-do-do. No, wait, we neglected to search these squares over here. But once we are through examining these, we will be able to shoot the prop board and conclude this turn. Do-do-do-do. You know the Marquis of Severin's got a dendron, but on the road you got a crack, and then you broke your ankle, and you have several hitchbind, Artemis, and a log. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh yeah, I can see you doing pulling moss and then feeling nuns on the Everglades. Despite an extensive searching through translucent Greek fireflame polymer canopy-laden frame containers, we didn't find Wonder Woman anywhere. But now that your rose is in bloom, we'll rest here and continue our search to destroy you and out with your face. Mordru. Check Mordru zones. Only Mordru in there. Those zones do not include these squares. That one raids the curtain. See here. Okay, so let's leave these squares open. So this intends to go in there and check the labyrinth. Now we know we can check squares other than that one. 10 movement phasing teleport and 1 power action. We have outwit. No one to outwit. I can choose a power at the beginning of the turn, any standard attack power. We'll choose poison out of practice, so that if Diana for some reason does become next to this person, you'll get 1 damage. This suspects that a god would have impervious. One can dream. There you go. So you go. 8. Let's be in this square. On the way there, what do we see? We can then see, once we get here, we can see the diagonal and then squares that are closer to these squares that are closer to that edge of the game board and closer to the specific parts of the perimeter for this quadrilateral geometrical structured translucent Greek fireflame polymer. And those that are closer to its particular parts of its perimeter of this quadrilateral geometrical Greek fireflame canopy. Frame, container, lid that stops upon, that will not continue past other blocking terrain. It would not then see this square or any of the other squares that are closer to its particular parts of its perimeter of the quadrilateral geometrical structure. Translucent Greek fire flame. Yeah, we see that. We see these. Now we're going to be here. You can now see all of these. One's in there. You can see these two. And this one. One's in there. We have two more. Finish here. What do we see on the way? We will see these squares. And we will see this square when we get here. We also saw these. We saw this zone. Let's check this zone. No. Let's get these two. As now. Mordru. Does Mordru have any sidestep? No. That's Mordru's turn. Took a phasing teleport. They quite needed to. Here. There's this action token. Outwitted Wonder Woman's tiara, wherever it is. Mordru's turn. Mordru has to clear. Let's check what Mordru can bear witness to. This. This. That. Mordru clears. Wonder Woman. Only Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman can also see the diagonal line of sight. Linear area, occupancy precedent, geometrical precedent of progression precedent. That perimeter goes to the particular parts of the perimeter of other quadrilateral geometrical precedent of progression. Geometrical structure of translucent Greek fireflake polymer casings, chassis casing, canopy lids, casing, container frames that represent blocking terrain. One of which and closer to some edge of the board, or squares that are closer to an edge of the board than the particular translucent quadrilateral Greek fireflake canopy lid casing container frame that represents or contains the slot containing a peg representing a character that is itself representing obstructing terrain or blocking terrain of some sort. Now we're going to sidestep. Here. Save those actions and remain out here in the open, where we might see what's-his-face strolling by. In the midst of the sidestep, we're going to see this zone through this square. Check it. No one in there. Complete the movement. Yeah. Check this zone ready. Now we're in, we can see this zone. See, and we are in that zone. We can Wonder Woman. Only Wonder Woman in that zone. Maybe what's-his-face will walk by. And that is Wonder Woman's turn. Took a look behind there, sidestepped over to the wizard Mordru's turn. The wizard. There's 2 D's, 2 Z's, and 3 W's. Get it right. And to phasing teleport, let's check those zones, or check what he can see. Nobody in there. Nobody in here. Nobody there. Here. These. I don't think you can see this one. That one. That's it. You can see. Let's open these two. There. Now we're going to phasing teleport. Look, move 3, go over here. Check this zone. No one in there. And there, we moved 3, we have 7 more. Let's go 4, check this zone. No one in there. Let's move 3 more, for a total of 7. In that square. Check this zone. No one's in there. This zone is that square. These two, and these two, this row transposed down this column to here. We got 3 more. Let's finish here. Good. Maybe I have to choose that attack power at the beginning of the turn. Or is that Odin? Odin, I can choose. Mordru can choose at any point during the game. Giving Mordru a free action to choose poison. This dares you to step on this person's potato salad. If Mordru's in that square, he's in this zone. Replace it. There you go! Mordru went down here, down there, and went back up here, stopped around there. Did the shimmy, then chose poison. And will now outwit the brushed, stalactite, pink Martonian, dark chaotic magic, suspended, Xanax, gumming, translucent, sugar-saturated, hyper-reformanized, weaponized, refined by the power of the mind, so rigid that not even the insects will eat it. That's like a colloquial mother-targeted epithet, but for the translucent Greek fireflame, like polymer representing, no doubt, Martonian, dark chaotic magic sprites, photographic burst light effects going on over there in those hands. Automatopoeia, somebody! The Wizard Mordru's turn. Wizard Mordru is having an inexplicable and implacable, clairvoyant, prescient knowledge informing him to his post-mortem status. In other words, he has an inexplicable sense that he's a dead man. Let's check this zone. That's where you are. Only Mordru there. The other squares you can see this square that's not part of this zone, which is these two squares of this row transposed down these columns. You can also see this square. Let's check it. You can see that. So let's include this square in this zone, since you can clearly see this one always from any square in this zone. We have a movement of 10 and phasing teleport. Let's have Mordru circle around, try to look, or maybe cut through here. Again, search the middle. Maybe Wonder Woman is flying back across there. So many choices. Let's run up here, check this one, then check that one. Do a sweep across the middle here, so we're close to this zone. Check it. We'll move here. Just open it. And we're going to check this zone. Nobody there. And now we're going to check. That's 1. Move 4 more to a total of 5. Check this zone. On the way, we can see. Check that zone, which includes this square, but we can see this one, and that one. Nothing there. Barren Labyrinth. Check this zone. No one in there. That's 5. We have 5 more movement. We're also in this zone. We can check. And it could be down here. I'm trying to sweep around. Just gonna keep on going this way. Maybe we'll find something. I'm just gonna keep going this way. Been over there. Keep going. Oh, shouldn't have. Now we're stopping in this zone. I'm going to put this zone. Don't you have a profound and sublime affinity for the ones that make you sweat? On the way, you can see these squares once you reach. If he was here, so reach here or here. I think we moved through here. No, we could not see that from here. Might be able to see this one. No. Check here, then maybe cut around the middle. Or maybe she's in one of these rooms. And that was my idea! Mordru, over here. Now here. And 5 down this hallway. Like throwing a wizard down a hallway. And down a pile of stairs. A flight of stairs. Wizard Mordru's turn. I have no actions available. I am pushed. I can outwit. Let's check. Outwit Wonder Woman's face. We've got 2. Wonder Woman is in this zone. Wonder Woman is here. Oh, she's found me. Assuming that I wasn't looking for Wonder Woman as well. I can also see... No, I cannot see that zone. I'm not in that zone, nor can I see all of it. We shall not check it. We'll check this zone. Let's look for a Wonder Woman. Looking for a Spider Woman, Wonder Woman. That opens the zone peg. Might be able to outwit something after all with a range of 8. This all occurs at the beginning of the turn, so as soon as I figure out what this person can see, even if the power to choose right next to you. Good grief. The power to choose any standard attack power were to occur at the beginning of the turn. This could do it after it looks for all of this stuff. Check sets visibility. And I'm a giant. I get +1 to my breakaway roll. So they don't ignore character. That's giant reach. Great size or great stride, I think, allows you to ignore characters for giant reach. Do giants have that, or is that colossals that have giant stride? That's colossals. The colossal stamina is for colossals. Giants have giants, great stride, and a giant reach. Good. Then why does it say they get +1 to their breakaway? They don't have to break away. I think they don't ignore character. They're just really good at getting away. They're indefeasibly talented. It's uncabbageable. Oh, my butt! Exclamation. This particular juncture. We're all dead. Is it the poignancy of intelligence that we could potentially liberate ourselves from the banality, the drudgery, the brutality, the banality of the mortal world? not actually... Oh, I can't outwit you because you have that... All this time, this was extolling to the... This was in apprehension and anticipation of finally being able to use that wizardly insight on a god. And it turns out goddesses are very difficult to outwit. In fact, it may be indefeasible, incapacible, and untenable to outwit this goddess. Not going down that way. Can't even attack you. I'm going to choose poison at the turn of the tide. Hope, do you have any defense powers that negate 1 damage? Wonder Woman does. Wonder Woman has impervious. Means you don't take that damage. Well, that was a 3 action well spent. Mordru can see the square. Good night. That isn't very good. Mordru looked around and beheld the god spectating upon its sinewy, dark death ruin, cinder-derived truncheon carbon coal deposits bordering on half-snowed capsule, clattering as if through some hidden dimension of the mortal world, Katubarada nictoing the vast void, cosmic vast expanse of chaos, oblivion, aradia, distifili, concuda, outside like lunacy, alternating gradation, concentration of shadowy, Thaumaturine, crystal bed, Marjonian, dark, chaotic, magic, velvety, Acanthosis, Nigrocanzi, wizard, new god robe there, and my wizard, my beard, oh my beard! Ready to put the hookla, huska, hoopla, hoopla, throw a brick at your face. Hope that helmet's padded. Can't outwit you. Mordru clears. The wizard Mordru's turn. Are you? Yes, you are. Still there. I wonder if you had to. Apparently, so. Everyone has to clear. Could have sidestepped over. One clearing. Checking the zones. Still only a goddess and a giant wizard. And we're going to check this in the case that mysterious other characters. If this character does find another being here, isn't it? Very curious. You are now entering a zone of imagination. A zone of curly fries that accumulated upon their surface or saturated throughout their interior volumes is fear. Fear and a yearning to be separated from the basics closing door of the mind. You are now entering the reoccurringly enigmatic zone. A twilight zone about what happens when wizards cook breakfast and amend the very surface economy of replaced manufacturing for comestibles and comestible, moving to a position inundated and transformed by approaching diagramless electrochemical bonds. Power, Hiva stove, cooking appliances, appliance market, or accessory tool market. No one must ever know what we have done. But we have made food magic, an abomination against nature, an eggs bone mulligret, eggs aggregate. really is the world's smallest violin. The world's most cumbersome violin. We searched that zone and we found Wonder Woman. Now I can attack you, finally. I'm going to choose Pulse Wave. Enjoy Pulse Wave. You tiara-wearing, slimy, skimpy, skanky, scantily clad, star-spangled, red, white, and blue, gold-rolled, gold-strutting, face-sweating, sweat-matted, shiny, glistening, gleaming, golden, surreptitious, seditious, seditious ass, implements of domination seeking to wield its implements of domination wielding ancient archetypal structures of authority, in this case concentrated state power, subverting by uses of subterfuge and espionage, tiara throwing, madman, mad woman, pulse waving. That's 8.
Whoever disturbeth the Jesus token shall regret it throughout time, interminably, without end.
That's superfluous. Redundant.
Silence!
8. That hits 8. 11. That hits 19. She has 18 defense. That's a pulse wave for 4 damage. I don't think you have any unignorable powers. 4 damage. Go blimey. One should announce that you're making an attack. They might infer from saying pulse wave that you're making an attack. 4 damage. Oh, snap. That's awful. And no defenses, because that's a pulse wave with 4 range and giant reach. I chose pulse wave. Did you see that? Did you see that? And mystics, you don't take mystics when you use pulse wave. God shouldn't be playing around with dark magic anyhow. Demi-goddesses.
Quiet, you petty parochialistic admonition-rife windbag!
How dare you! Then Blades Claws. We're attacking you with Blades Claws. Pull out a sword right here. That's 6 and 3, 9. That hits you. I would hit a 19. You had a 19. You have 18, so I hit you. Now for the Blades Claws roll. You do not have probability control yet. Not that you could use it. 5! You have impervious. If you get a 5. No! 6! That's impervious. You're impervious. I would have taken Mystics anyhow. Diana needs some pulse wave. It's not fair. There's your action token. The wizard Mordru might surmise that Diana was still in that position from the failed attempt to strike this person with a sword, or a failed attempt to presumably transform this person's flesh to a state of destruction, transforming it to a state in which it, betrayed by the flesh, the very fabric of which it consists, might respond to which by transforming itself to a state in confrontation with and by possibly both fortitude, offending, heterogenic, insidious, odious, or otherwise objectionable powers. Might have failed, though from what this knows of the volatile reality entertainment information, that this infers the character Mordru is derived from Superboy Prime, or some character Kryptonian-like, or character in general, wielding powers that are beyond that of mortal men, or paralleling that of mortal human beings from beyond that subtext of volatile reality entertainment information that character would be derived from, paralleling that, or part of, conveyed with the such subtext of volatile reality entertainment information that Mordru is a part of, would transform Mordru's flesh to a state of destruction, may or may not be transforming Mordru or subjecting Mordru to power, transforming it, or to which it, betrayed by the flesh, the very fabric of which it consists, or he, it, she consists, might respond to which by transforming itself to a state in confrontation with them by possibly both fortitude, upending, heterogenic, insidious, odious, or otherwise objectionable power. And Mordru seems to be able to quickly restore himself in an unnatural way, to transform to a state more like that, gradually changing of the flesh to a state like more similar to that of being occupied by flesh, paralleling some mystical falsehood, fake flesh, or polysaccharide deoxyribonucleic acids, dual helix recombinant ribonucleic acids, unzipped by radioactive guanine peptides, codons, random nucleotide polymorphisms, amino acid chain, acetone, tone, acetone, def, peptide pond breaketh. Sit thine amino acid chain has down, lest I make peptides, nigga. And macromolecular mathematical multicellular organic origami architecture of the flesh. Of the state incipient in which would be the attack that would transform mordru to the state of destruction, or paralleling that of a state of destruction of human beings from beyond that subtext of volatile reality entertainment information, from which this infers mordru and that other character, which may or may not be Superboy or Superboy Prime or some such thing, that this suspects would transform a human being receiving that kind of damage to powers transforming to a state subject to powers transforming them, or to which they betrayed by the flesh, the very fabric of which they consist, might respond to which by transforming themselves to a state in confrontation with, bent by possibly both fortitude, offending, heterogenic, insidious, odious, or otherwise objectionable power, that may or may not also end their consciousness very quickly without subjecting them to, or subjecting them to much of power transforming them, or to which they betrayed by the flesh, the very fabric of which they consist, might respond to which by transforming themselves to a state in confrontation with, bent by possibly both fortitude, offending, heterogenic, insidious, odious, or otherwise objectionable power. And that's mordru for you. May or may not be subject to such power transforming them, or to which they betrayed by the flesh, the very fabric of which they consist, might respond to which by transforming themselves to a state in confrontation with, bent by possibly both fortitude, offending, heterogenic, insidious, odious, or otherwise objectionable power. In response to, or incipient to, or whilst flesh is transformed to a state of destruction. Does mordru experience suffering the way that humans do? This is unknown, a perturbing and daunting enigma. Or is it? Dun, dun, dun. One must know. Encase this joint, encase it, envelop it, and laminate it. Laminate it. This might finish off Wonder Woman. Who knew destroying a demigod would be so easy? Choosing pulse wave and pulse waving. Second action. Any last words? Yeah, La Madre. What? 6. That hits a 17. What is... Think that Diana's defense is 17 out. That's 17. That hits you. And that's another 4 damage. Still alive! That's 8 damage without any damage reduction or elimination. That might be the last click, but that's alive. You're there. You're alive, and you don't get mystics. But good night. You have to stare at this person who's just sitting there. You're pulse waving. What do you? You never get the job. How is this possible? I've thrown you the power of the sun. It's destroyed the planet. And you're just standing there. Oh, yeah, hey, would you care for some Mudhonian, pink Mudhonian, modern crystal bed Mudhonian, dark chaotic magic sprutched and broketh off the one way of your either being or paralleling pathetic human one-way digestional tract? Oh, yeah, no, oh, no. That's 10 on your 18, likely for 5 damage. Funny if you got a critical hit. That's 10 with doubles, but that won't knock over a giant. So that probably, let's see if that deals damage. If it doesn't deal damage, then you don't get mystics, I don't think. Mordru will now roll his impervious. Does not get it. So that's 5 damage. And it doubles. Can't knock over a giant, though. And he'll negate 2 of it, so he'll take 3 damage. Right, now he has... That's some damage for you. Oh, you hit me once, so now Diana will take mystics. That's the end. That's Diana. And that was the story of Diana versus Mordru.
Is that the best the gods can do?
Quiet before I let you on fire and rip your arms off!